Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing episode 3 of Tales from the Abyss. Opus 14 has had a lot of ups and downs. We have our first, we had our first, like, I guess kind of major event over the weekend. I think we're going to talk about that one in a separate video. I might get the triple triad on that one and maybe see if we can get some people from the event to talk about it. But for now, this is the decks I was playing. You know how it works here. We're going to go over what I played, what I built, my thought process, the way that the deck plays, the matchups, and overall standings and deck analysis. So, as always, make sure to follow me on, my social on the bottom, description. So, alright, so the first deck is going to be Ice Water Vikings. Now, this deck is pretty straightforward. Or at least that's the way I thought. The whole point is to play this guy. If you haven't played the Viking deck, or you haven't even seen it, or you haven't run into it, it's very, very explosive early on. Has the potential to drop 6 forwards on turn 1. And if you don't have an answer for it, or something to deal with them, then you're going to be in a real tough spot. But yeah, when Viking enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Play any card named Viking of cost 3 or less onto the field, and return the others to the bottom of the deck in any order. Now, this deck was so this is just my version. There was the Slice and Dice tournament in the UK, I believe. Had the winner was I don't remember his name. I'm sorry about that, but the list is there on the tournament reports. So I grabbed that list. I made 4 card changes. So just, there were some things after doing a few test draws. Also, I realized I don't know where my Yagrashes were, but and I'll go over the little changes I made. I don't think it made too much of a difference. The deck did what it was supposed to every other game. So he went in, the player who took this, it was like at a reunion event for them at the Slice and Dice tournament, reunion tournament, and he went undefeated from what I understood. I tuned in too late to the live stream, so I didn't get to see it in action or how it went, but yeah. So triple Viking when he leaves, 2 Argath, triple Viking when he enters. I added 1 Palom just for for some early options in case, so I can, I end up playing all the Vikings, then Argath, then Palom and discard, or do all backups to kind of leave me in a good position to push forward. The important Viking, the Shulk, triple Viking, triple I think I added. Oh yeah, no, I definitely did have the triple Layla, Stern, 2 Clouds, Jet, Leviathan, and then the backups are Jonabot, Gladiator, Kronos, which I think is an interesting card, Bran, Merwib, triple Snow, 1 Idolodolus. I added 2 Scholars, Ultimecia, and Lazath. But yeah, so the way it works too is, let's see if we can draw a test hand. Yeah, we would definitely mulligan this. We don't want this, but this is it, right? Oh man, we probably should have played it, right? Play this deck. Okay, great. We opened up pretty much everything we needed, actually. Keep hand, first turn. We didn't get the ice, so we can't do both. We'll discard this one to play this one, and then reveal 5. Reveal top card. Reveal next. We missed, unfortunately, right? So, close and move all to the bottom of the deck, shuffled. And then we would probably do it again here. Nope. Reveal. Unfortunately, this is what happens, right? We'll miss twice in a row. Even though we only drew 1 other Viking, this is what I mean by the deck, works every other time. Yeah, the whole point is to rip. If you open Layla and this Viking, you'll rip Layla Viking into it, and then hopefully start milling for the other ones. If you're able to reveal this one again, the important one, he will just keep going from there, right? He'll keep revealing, he'll keep searching more Vikings, and you're either playing this one or you're playing the 3-drop to draw a card, or any of the ones that let you draw a card right away. How do we get back here? Yeah, just right there, boom. But yeah, it's a very aggro list. This is really cool. So if you're able to do the shelf play and then you draw a card also, this card is effectively free. If you have Argath and you play one of, and you're able to play one of the other guys as well that draws you a card, this is free. So it's a good way to control your opponent like early on. Like if they go first and then you go second and they place one back up and you're able to do the combo or whatever, you can play this and Dolan freeze their first backup, leaving them in a really bad situation for the next turn, having them to overpay and stuff just so they can survive. Stern is also a monster. With 33 forwards, you're able to pump regularly, and then Jet is the highlight of the deck too. This deck made me fall in love with Jet even more, right? So when Jet enters the field, choose a forward. If one or more forwards were attacking this turn, return the chosen forward to its owner's hand. So couple things here. You can return something of theirs, or you can lift back your Viking again and do it again. And then if 3 or more forwards were attacking this turn, choose a break the chosen forward and draw a card instead. So if you're able to get it, sometimes they won't even block the first ones, or you just triple party attack and they only get to kill one, or whatever. You're still going to be able to bring out Jet and then kill something and draw a card. So, and then usually, because you're always milling and searching and stuff, you're gonna have the other Jet usually. It was very rare that I dropped a Jet and I didn't have one in hand because of the way this deck works. It's super aggressive. All in all, I enjoyed the deck. It's not my playstyle because I'm all for aggro, right? Like I'm all for big turn plays where you're gonna swing for 5, but I like to have options when I don't have that, right? I feel like this deck was very limited in that capacity. Especially the times where I did the Viking thing and I didn't hit it were the worst scenarios, obviously. When you don't hit one at all the whole game, which is crazy, right? Because you have 3, 6, 9, 12 Vikings. It's rough, and it really shows, and it's costly. So kudos to the guy who went undefeated with this. I think Chocobo Joe plays a similar list. I don't know if it's mono or ice as well, but this list is pretty fun, definitely worth checking out. Next, I just from last week we were playing the Ice Monk Fist. I just updated it a little bit to see how it feels for this set. Being as that monks were in the top tables of the R4, I just went ahead and added some of these things. The main cards were I took out the Cecils for the Dark Knights. I just felt they could hold their own a little bit better. I kept the triple Sarah, triple Sophie for multiple, fun events with Tyro, and also since I'm playing the Shantotos this time, because I'm not playing the Titan, I added the Shantotos. The Titan was replaced by the Omegas. There was only a few times when I was doing playtesting where I was able to. First of all, Omegas is such an amazing card. I love this card already. I'm gonna try to add it into a few other. This card might be in decks, some other decks of mine going forward, just because I think he's such a trouble. He draws a lot of attention and he wastes your opponent's CP very quickly. And if I'm playing too because it's really annoying when they have to overpay to deal stuff, like use a lot of effects to deal with him, and then you drop another one. The goal here was also to, on top of being abusive with Sophie, is eventually at some point shoot for twice in one turn. If my opponent feels comfortable at 5, he's like, all right, we're good, we can live. Dropping Omega a turn, and then next turn going wide with the Sophie play. Yeah, it's gonna shoot for 2 points of damage that turn and clutching out. But honestly, Omega on his own is just a great card. The Dark Knight changes were minimal. I didn't miss the Cecil. I wasn't too crazy about him. Oftentimes, because I'm setting up, I take my time with this deck. The Dark Knight thing is I could probably leave it at 1. This monk is also fun. And the Mont into the Regis plays are always good. I didn't also get to do that very much, but it's a great feeling. This week, let me go back actually. We played this for the tournament. I went 2-2 Round one was Versatile, a version of the Versatile deck, and where both decks are just spit out forwards and go. I lost due to the what is his name, the not Rain but the Laswell, the Fire Ice Laswell. His that, like, if it's spit forwards out and go, it's almost even because of the power difference, right? I have the snows and stuff like that, but the Rain is where that deck takes the advantage. I mean, the Laswell is where that deck takes the advantage. When you don't see the Stern, especially if it gets hit in damage. The Laswell says, when I attack, I'm going to kill your weenies. Like, I'm going to kill your forwards. And so it was hard for me to recover from that. Especially, like, both decks were, like, on one backup, right? Like, that's the world they live in. We're lucky here if we get two backups. Yeah, that I added the Scholar just for those turns, too. When I play, like, the Vikings and I don't see anything, I can try to Scholar to to draw for more. Round two was against Mono Wind, I believe. That was a fun one, too. I went super wide, trying to close out, but I got hit with a Fina, and then we had to play catch-up. I had to jet earlier to cancel some other stuff, so the Fina wasn't... actually, no, I got Fina'd first, then on the recovery phase, I saw the jet, and then I had to jet something. They tried to cancel... I just told them I lay the Viking, so I wouldn't have enough forwards to block, but I had to jet that. But all in all, and then Leviathan saved the game for me on that one, because Wind has both forwards, backups, and monsters, so I was able to send 3 and reduce 3, which was pretty good. Round 3 was against Wind, Lightning, FFTA, so Luso and Ewan, the new, not the new, but a version of Ritz, the 4-drop Ritz, and things like that. So it was very, like, a lot of spot removal. That deck is also, I felt like it's also 50-50, because if I'm able to pop off first, then it's hard for that deck to recover, but if they go first and they're able to set up, what happened, right? Like, I drew decent in round one, and it didn't work. I didn't go wide as fast as I could have. Round two, I went nuts. Round 3, I didn't do it, and then round 4, I went nuts. So round 4 was against Wind, Water, Sky Pirates. Wind, Water, Sky Pirates. And yeah, first turn I went 4 forwards, and then I drew the snow, and then yeah, it was tough there, right? And then I just kept playing more forwards, and then I dropped the jet when my opponent was able to drop a Bismarck and the Vaughn, and then I think I closed out with a Shiva play, and then that was it, right? Actually, no, I closed out with the Stern. I did end up playing the Shiva because he just kept trying to, like, put forwards out to hold me back, but it didn't matter. And that's ultimately where, we ended 2-2. I think I played a few more rounds against the other players, and it was, it works every other time for me. So that consistency is not where I want an aggro deck. I'm sure it can be fixed or be improved on, but I didn't like it. Again, it was too linear, like too one-dimensional for a deck. In terms of matchups, this deck would probably work against a lot of things, because it's the rogue decks that I find are using the spot removal and, like, ways to, like, get rid of forwards right away. And I know Versatile is now, like, a competitive main deck, but I still would consider it rogue in my opinion. So that's kind of where it suffers, right? Like, if most of the rogue decks have stuff like, deal 5 damage, 5k, deal like 7k, deal 8k, like, in periods as they're progressing to kind of, like, control. But other than that, I think this deck is really strong. If this is something you like, make sure to test it out. I had nothing to... I'll definitely leave the link in the description for these this week. Next week, if we do go, I will probably be playing Mono Ice. I think from here we're going to jump to Mono Ice, and from the Monks we're going to jump to something else. Also, realistically, I think I'm just going to bring back my Knights deck, and then I think I'm going to always keep that one on hand, and we're going to update that one regularly. But I think next week we're going to have a lot more decks to talk about. So yeah, guys, that'll do it for us. Let me know what you think. I hope you like the decks, and if you try them out, make sure to come back and tell me how they were. I will see you next week.